Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. The John Cena-Roman Reigns rivalry goes back a long way, and some entertaining moments live rent-free in fans' minds. One of the most surprising moments during their feud featured Paul Heyman going off script and eventually ad-libbing John Cena's theme song. Cena and Reigns faced each other in a massive world title match at SummerSlam 2021. During the build to their feud, Paul Heyman and the 16-time world champion engaged in a war of words, which ended up with the WWE Hall of Famer hilariously singing Cena's theme song. During a recent edition of the Impulsive podcast, the WWE Hall of Famer addressed his interaction with Cena backstage before their segment. Heyman said he warned John that he had planned an unconventional retort. After the segment, when both men met backstage, John Cena couldn't stop laughing. I went up to John, and I said, I expect you to tear into us. He goes, "That's a good expectation." And then I said, "Would you like to know my retort?" And he goes, "No," I said, "my retort's a little unconventional." And he goes, "Great. I'll react to it naturally out there. You can't see me, and I can't hear you right now. And He just dug into us and dug into us. I'm just like spoof Cena's theme." And all walked away. And he comes to the back, and he's just laughing his asterisk off, tearing up. But reaction-wise, because he's so great, he reacted perfectly to it, Paul Heyman said. 1 hour 17 minutes and 3 seconds onwards. John Cena and Roman Reigns might come face-to-face in the ring again. The John Cena Farewell Tour has kicked off, and so has Roman Reigns' quest to win back his World Championship. Both have confirmed their entry in the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble match, and the excitement among the WWE Universe is at an all-time high. A face-to-face encounter between Cena and Reigns during the Royal Rumble match seems quite possible. One of them eliminating the other could also lead to a feud in the future. Time will tell what WWE has in store for both men at the Royal Rumble. The backstage area at WWE's latest pay-per-view event was buzzing with energy. The fans' excitement was still echoing through the corridors, but the tension in the locker room was palpable. Tonight was a pivotal night in the ongoing saga between Roman Reigns, his manager Paul Heyman, and the man who had become a living legend in WWE, John Cena. Cena and Reigns had been battling it out in a feud that would go down in history, one for the ages. But what no one could have anticipated was the unscripted moment involving Paul Heyman that would steal the spotlight and, in many ways, change the trajectory of the storyline. John Cena was finishing up his post-match recovery routine when the scene unfolded. He'd just come off a hard-fought battle, a grueling contest with Roman Reigns, and although he'd given it his all, he knew that the best was yet to come. His feud with Reigns was far from over, and Cena had every intention of proving that he could still go toe-to-toe with the best in the business. However, it wasn't Reigns who took his focus at that moment. It was Paul Heyman. Cena had seen Heyman work his magic countless times. The man was a genius in the ring, a master manipulator, and a man who knew how to control the narrative. But what happened tonight was something completely different, something raw, emotional, and entirely unscripted. The moment had come when Heyman, in the midst of a promo segment, had gone off script. It wasn't that he forgot his lines or made a mistake, far from it. Heyman had delivered a passionate, heartfelt speech that left everyone in the ring, and even backstage, in stunned silence. His words weren't just about Roman Reigns or the WWE Championship. They were about loyalty, betrayal, and the emotional bond between manager and client. Cena could feel the weight of it as he watched from backstage. His eyes narrowed in both confusion and awe. The camera had panned in close, capturing Heyman's every word as he addressed the WWE Universe. But it wasn't just the crowd's reaction that was notable. It was the way Cena felt it in his gut. There was something unspoken between Heyman and Reigns that had shifted. Something real. Cena had seen countless promos, but there was an authenticity in Heyman's delivery that struck a chord with him. It was clear this was more than just a scripted moment. This was real emotion spilling out from someone who had lived the business for decades. Backstage, Cena sat with his thoughts. processing everything he had just witnessed. He took a deep breath as he walked through the locker room, a haze of conversation swirling around him. He overheard his fellow wrestlers, the younger talents who looked up to him, discussing the promo. Some were excited, others were confused, but all agreed it was a moment that would be remembered in WWE history. When Cena walked into the locker room, he was immediately greeted by one of his closest friends and fellow WWE veteran, Randy Orton. The two had always had a friendly rivalry, but they respected each other's work in the ring. "Did you catch that?" Orton asked, with a look of incredulity. "I did," Cena replied, still processing what he had seen. "Man, that was raw. I've never seen Heyman like that before," Orton continued, sitting on the bench beside Cena. It was like he was speaking from the heart. You could feel the emotion. Cena nodded slowly, running a hand through his short-cropped hair. "It was something else. I've worked with Paul for years, but that was different." Orton gave a smirk. "You think he's going off script to make a statement? Or is he trying to get under Roman's skin? You know Heyman. He's always playing the game." Cena chuckled softly. "That's the thing, though. It didn't feel like a game tonight. It felt like he was genuinely torn, like there's more going on with him than we know." The conversation was interrupted by the arrival of Roman Reigns, who entered the room with a calm but calculating look on his face. The tension was thick as Reigns took a seat in front of Cena and Orton, locking eyes with Cena. There was an unspoken understanding between them. Cena knew that Reigns was fully aware of the unscripted moment, and he wasn't happy about it. Reigns had always been protective of his image and his storyline, and anything that wasn't planned could be seen as a threat. "You saw that, right?" Reigns said, his voice low and serious. Cena nodded. "I did. It wasn't supposed to happen like that," Reigns muttered under his breath. "Paul knows the game, but that was a curveball." Cena could see the frustration behind Reigns' cool demeanor. It wasn't just about the promo. It was about control. Reigns had been working hard to establish himself as the ultimate force in WWE, and for someone like Heyman to go off script threatened that control. Cena had seen the same thing happen in his career. A moment of vulnerability could throw everything off balance. "Heyman's always been about control," Cena said, glancing over at Reigns. "But this time, he let something slip, and it wasn't about you or me. It was about him." Reigns stared at Cena for a moment, considering his words. He finally spoke, his tone firm but with a hint of uncertainty. "You think it'll mess with the plan?" Cena took a deep breath and looked back at the TV screen, showing the aftermath of the segment. "I think it could go either way. You have two choices. You either let it slide and use it to build the story, or you shut it down and make sure everyone knows who's in control." Reigns didn't respond immediately. He leaned back in his chair, his mind racing with the possibilities. Cena could tell that, despite the calm exterior, Reigns was thinking deeply about the implications of what had just happened. Finally, Reigns turned to Cena, his eyes narrowing with determination. "We'll use it. We'll make it part of the story. If Heyman's willing to show that kind of emotion, we'll make him pay for it." Cena smiled slightly, his respect for Reigns growing with every passing moment. Roman Reigns had come a long way, and this feud was far from over. But tonight, it wasn't just the wrestlers who were a part of the story. Paul Heyman had shown that even the most scripted of moments could be turned into something real. It was a reminder that, in this business, the line between reality and fiction was often blurred. As Cena walked off to prepare for the next chapter of his feud with Reigns, he couldn't help but wonder how far Heyman's unscripted moment would take them. The only thing he knew for sure was that WWE had just been gifted a moment that would go down in history. And as always, Cena was ready to be a part of whatever came next.